welcome to MC in Focus. Montgomery College's student-produced newscast broadcasting live from Montgomery College Rockville campus. I'm Candace Allgood.
And I'm Jack Edwards. Montgomery County's new bag tax rang up quite a bit of money in this first month. All those people forgetting their reusable bags in the trunk forked over $150,000 this first month. The county executive says more data is needed to predict the real revenue for the first year. If January's forecast follows through the rest of the year, the county could collect almost $2 million in new taxes. Stores and shoppers were adjusting to the new policy, which likely influenced January's numbers to be either too high or too low.
Federal student loan interest rates are being debated in the Senate. A possible 4% hike in federal aid interest rates might be tacked on to your tab if the Senate lets the bill expire. In 2006, Congress voted in a bill that makes college more affordable by cutting interest rates in half, saving students around $8,000. This bill is expiring soon, and Republicans say U.S. taxpayers can't afford to make college affordable for students anymore. The federal government still makes a considerable amount of money off the federal aid loans, even though they cut rates years ago. Arizona GOP State Representative Michelle Eugeni defended the different tuition increase bill by telling students, "Welcome to life."
Oh, how nice. The Super Tuesday results are in, and Mitt Romney won 6 of the 10 states up for grabs, including Virginia. Of the 437 delegates, Romney hauled in over 200, while Rick Santorum won just under 85 delegates, and Newt Gingrich finished with almost 80. According to the New York Times, Mitt Romney's campaign put out a memo politely asking the other candidates to drop out. As Governor Romney's opponents attempt to ignore the basic principles of math, the only person's odds of winning they are increasing are President Barack Obama's. Rather than take any such advice, Santorum has turned on Gingrich. The New York Times is also reporting that Santorum's campaign and allies are calling for Gingrich to step down so that conservatives could unite behind Mr. Santorum's candidacy against Mr. Romney.
Oil company BP is still underwater with legal battles over damage the oil spill caused. The company announced they will pay a settlement to citizens who have been hurt by the leak. The statement is an estimated $7.8 billion. The unusual part of this statement is there is no cap to what BP has to pay. As long as the person needs federal compensation, BP has to pay up. The company has already shelled out more than $36 billion in damage control and cleanup operations, and are estimated to pay another $15 billion this year.
Earlier in the week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Obama sat down to talk about Iran. Israel has threatened to take military action if Iran does not shut down attempts to build a nuclear weapon. The U.S. feels that a military strike against Iran would not be beneficial and that Israel should give sanctions and diplomacy more time. Iran has invited UN inspectors to a nuclear site as a sign of goodwill. The president commented,
and as I've said to the Prime Minister in every single one of our meetings, the United States will always have Israel's back when it comes to Israel's security.
Iran still maintains that the uranium enrichment program is for civilian energy uses only.
We are proud to announce one of Montgomery College's very own professors has been recognized for her excellence in teaching. Dawn Avery won 2 national awards. Jack Edwards has the full story.
Here at Montgomery College, cellist, vocalist, educator, and Grammy-nominated performer Dawn Avery was named the 2011 Maryland Professor of the Year by the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching and the Council for the Advancement and Support of Education. Her passion in the art of music extends to her students and to everyone in the department.
She brings an air of erudition and a spirit that is unmatched when promoting and appreciating music that is not always, that has been neglected and from far corners of the world.
The real reason I keep teaching is because of the students. Because I see one student will come back to me 5 years later and say, you know, in your class I heard that didgeridoo, and ever since then I always recognize a didgeridoo, and now I play it for my kids. Or, in your class, I never knew I was Cherokee. Until I took your class, I found out my grandmother was Cherokee. Or I'll hear, I met so many people in your class, and I'm still friends with them today. Because of this idea of community service, but also community sharing that can be bridged through music. And I've had several students go on to conservatories, or students who really were not doing well in high school, who then came to Montgomery College, and now they're working as professional musicians really successfully in sort of unusual careers. So I try to find what makes that student tick, where is the talent in that student, and for some reason, it's probably like creation given, I'm able to tell like what it is that student could be really great at. And then I encourage them in that direction.
For MC in Focus, I'm Jack Edwards.
Wow, so I heard that there was a really great performance last night.
Yeah, that's right. It was Don Avery with a renowned flutist, Carlos Nakai. He's a Native American flutist, and I heard it was a great show.
Oh, wow.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, though. But
I know. I didn't know anything about it until just now, until we started. So I would have loved to see that.
Same.
Navy and Marine officials say they plan to introduce random breathalyzer tests for soldiers on duty as part of the health and safety push, a move they admit will be a tough sell with troops after a decade of war. The military already randomly tests members of all branches for illegal drug use. Officials describe the alcohol testing program as an inspection and prevention tool to identify sailors or Marines who may need counseling or other treatment. Service members who test positive for alcohol won't be allowed to go on duty, but won't be penalized on their own permanent record. Stay tuned for more news after the commercial break.
Steve, oh, I'm a wild boy.
Hey kid, you want some French fries? Yeah?
No thanks, I have carrots.
Call me Steve, oh, call me Steve, oh, I'm a wild boy,
Well, now you can rent it. The concept of renting goods, like Netflix, has spawned a new type of business in collaborative consumption. Startups like the Thai Society and Capital Bike Share are just a couple examples. Pay a fee, use different products when you need them, return it, and get a new and different one. Now, Apple announced its latest iPad this past Wednesday. Instead of calling the device the iPad 3, Apple is calling it the new iPad. Some improvements have been made since the previous model. Consumers will now have a crisp Retina display, a 5-megapixel camera, and the ability to connect to a 4G network, as well as several other new features. Long lines are expected at Apple stores next Friday when the tablet becomes available. Also, Android fans are awaiting the release of the new operating system called Jelly Bean. It is expected to be unveiled at the Google conference in June. According to TG Daily, Jelly Bean may also be coming to the Motorola Webtop platform, as Motorola announced this week that it will not be updating most of its devices until the second quarter of 2012. Now, wasn't there a new update on the iPhone recently?
There was, just this week, and I did the update last night, and right now all I can notice the new feature is that you have the camera right on the lock screen instead of having to double click on the little circle to get to it.
That's pretty nice. You get pictures quicker now when you need
yeah.
to.
I know, it was always kind of like a little annoying thing before.
It was.
Yeah, but I look forward to see what else is
Oh, I gotta download that.
Yeah. One reality TV star is not only pregnant, she is also engaged. For weeks, rumors have been swirling about Snooki's being pregnant, which she denied, saying she's gained weight. But the reality TV star of Jersey Shore is in fact having a baby and is set to be wed to her roommate baby daddy, Gianni Laval, with Box in tow. Snooki's husband-to-be was seen moving into her Jersey City home last weekend, where Snooki and her best buddy, Jenny J-Wow Farley, are filming a Jersey Shore spinoff. Snooki says the best is yet to come.
Now for this weekend's weather. It looks like it will be a sunny day this Friday afternoon. And kicking off our weekend, some clouds and highs expected in the low 50s. Clouds should fade as the night rolls along, but lows are expected in the mid-30s, so bundle up if you plan on heading out tonight. Saturday, we have afternoon highs expected in the mid-50s, with evening lows expected around 29 degrees. Wrapping up our weekend, we can expect highs in the 60s and sunshine all afternoon on Sunday. And that gets us into spring break, doesn't it?
I know, what a beautiful start to spring break.
Absolutely. I can't wait. Do you have any plans?
I am. I'm going to San Diego. Where are you headed?
Lucky. I'm just working, just keeping busy.
All right, sounds great.
Now for the sports. Mike Callow?
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Candace. Starting off with Montgomery College sports, the MC women's basketball team is moving on to the NJCAA National Championship. The Knights beat Georgia Northwestern Tech 99-52 to win the district championship. Alex Silva led the Knights with 23 points, and Portia Davis and Faye Dunstan were right behind her with 21 points each. The Lady Knights will travel to Rochester, Minnesota for the national championship tournament on March 15th. In professional basketball, the Wizards got their biggest win of the season on Wednesday. The Wizards beat the LA Lakers 106-101. Washington looked dead in the water in the middle of the third as they were losing 76-55. Former Good Counsel High School grad Roger Mason Jr. sparked a rally with 3 huge three-pointers. The Lakers were shell-shocked after giving up the 21-point lead to the woeful Wizards. This was Washington's first win against the Lakers since 2006. And last but certainly not least, the Washington Capitals had a huge win last night against the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Caps' Marcus Johansson scored to tie the game 2-2 in the third period with less than 4 minutes left to send the game into overtime. With less than a minute left in overtime, Alex Ovechkin scored off a Dmitry Orlov slap pass to give the Caps the win. The Caps move into 8th place in the East, and they are now behind Florida by 2 points for the division. Guys, it was a great week in DC sports.
It sounds like it.
Must win for the Caps. But that's not really all that's going on in sports. What about Peyton Manning?
Wednesday, Peyton Manning was released. 4 rumored teams. One of them was our Redskins. He came out yesterday, said he has no interest in playing for the Redskins.
Oh, that's a shame.
It's a shame. A little bit of a heartache there, but I understand.
Yeah, we'll see.
Hopefully they'll win this season. But in other news, spider silk is strong, stretchy, thin, and according to a new study by Iowa State University, conducts heat as well as metals. The unique property of the silk also make it great for violin strings. A Japanese scientist wove 4,000 strands of the silk together into strings that were used to play this lovely song that you're hearing now.
So, I mean, now we're going into spring break. There's a lot of things going on. We still don't even know who the mascot is going to be for Montgomery College.
That's true, between the Raptors and Guardians.
I know. I actually was talking to the head of the sports department, and I tried to get her to like maybe give me a little bit of her opinion who she wanted. She was like, She's like, I can't tell you.
Very diplomatic of her.
Yeah, hopefully it's, they've got it.
Thank you for tuning in to MC in Focus and listening to E-Radio WMCR. We are leaving with the sweet sounds of Montgomery College's own Grammy Award winner, Dawn Avery. Have a great weekend.
Give way to shorter days and time to retreat. This land, it's in my heart, I am here to stay. Family's got